Hello friends and enemies, welcome to or back to Happy for Now. It's me, Isabel, here with a new e-reader discussion video. I do these for every device I get. I feel like I enjoy doing techie reviews from a bookish perspective and someone who is semi-techie, but I'm also always looking at these for like the lowest common denominator, like can my mom use it successfully or not? So I try to keep that in mind as we discuss these things, but I do have a Boox Palma Pro 2 here, not the color. This is just the black and white because I have a color soft Kindle, and to be honest with you, I don't need multiple color devices. I also have an iPad mini. I have a lot of tech. I enjoy tech though, so like it's a fun thing for me to do. But I did buy one of these used on eBay recently for a little off of retail, not far off honestly, but I am going to recommend, if you're interested in a device like this, as always, be checking sites like Lost Luggage website where you can get things people leave on planes and don't get back. The eBay, Mercari, your Facebook marketplaces. You may have really good luck finding things like this. I know someone who got one through a friend of a friend that wanted to get rid of their device. So just like as a quick what's up and how this device looks and is set up for me. I have the clear case on it. I have stickers under here that are not attached. As you can see, I have stickers, and then I have a little pull tab that attaches, just dropped my pop socket. Anyways, that attaches to my little wrist strap because I like having this because of how small the device is. And with my tendency to just drop things as a clumsy girl, this just kind of gives me that security that when I drop it, it's not going anywhere. And then last but not least, I have a suction cup holder device. It's just sparkly that I just pop on accordingly and am able to kind of hold it like this. Usually with the strap on also, but you get the vibes. And then you can move it around. So like if I want to hold more here, if I want to hold it more in the middle, I can, all that stuff. So I like the suction cup so I can kind of adjust for my hands, because sometimes like this is more comfortable, or this, or sometimes I'm doing this even. It just depends. This is the Boox Palma size though. I have relatively small hands in this discussion. I have nails on right now, but my hands are not ginormous. I own an iPhone 13 Pro. Not a Pro Max, just a Pro, but this is the devices side by side, about lined up. So it is bigger than my phone, but unlike my phone, it has e-ink, which doesn't give me migraines. So there's that. There is that. Just to kind of try and give you some size references here and now. I am about just over a month into using this device, and I have some initial thoughts and feelings, and I have a lot of questions from y'all that I'm going to try and answer through the conversation around the device. And then obviously I have like a section at the end just called questions that I don't think I got to, that I'll discuss. So I actually got this because I have a lot of travel happening in the next year, 2 years, right? So I wanted a device that was more close to my phone size, which, like, I don't know when I'll upgrade from a 13 Pro, but probably never. I'm kidding, because honestly it's going to need upgraded before I know it. I'm going to be mad about it, but it's fine. Anyways, I wanted an e-ink reader device that would serve me in my travels as something portable and easy to use. Something that I could throw in a smaller purse than I can my Kindle, which I don't carry a ton of small purses, but I do have some like crossbody like sling bags that the Kindle's a tight squeeze in right now, and I'm not looking to buy more bags to better hold my Kindle personally. My thought process was, let's get this device and try it and see what we think. It gives us the option. It also gives me flexibility and access to various bookish platforms to read my books. And that was a perk that I also kind of liked the idea of for when I'm traveling. But yeah, I have a lot of travel happening in the next who knows how long, and I'm looking for lightening my load as far as what I'm carrying, because I know I'm always carrying my iPad mini. So if I can do that and then not take a Kindle and instead I take the Boox, it's a little bit of an upgrade on space, right? So you may be like, as well, why don't you just read on the iPad mini? I've had this discussion in every e-ink video I've done, or every e-reader device I've done, and that conversation is moot for me because I personally get triggered by migraines via screens. So because of that, an e-ink device for me is just like a necessary accessory for my reading and how much I read in a year. Some of my like initial thoughts, because I did take this with me to Disney World over spring break time, and what I will tell you is I loved how small this was to fit in my bag. I do have 2 storage bags I use for it. Where did I set them? There they are. So I took this to Disney World during spring break. I did leave it at the hotel room when it rained. There was a day of rain. I did not bring it with me, but every other day I had it in my bag. And it was very easy and comfortable and didn't feel as like, oh, you're reading. read however you want in public. I don't care. I don't like the whole performative reading discussion. But anyways, for me in lines with the nephew, it was nice to be able to whip this out and just kind of sit and read. And I can kind of keep it more sheltered to myself, so not everyone is seeing what I'm reading, which I think is nice sometimes, depending on the books you read. But I will say on those travels, I was nervous. I was very nervous to have something to hold it, because this has a screen protector on, it has the clear case. I still worry that it is not nearly as sturdy or structurally sound as, say, like my phone that I drop all the time, because this case has minimal protection. So I have two options that I found for that. My order did not come in time before my trip, so I did take it in this little kind of lightly lined, it's not super thick, but it does have some padding, makeup bag that says Just Girly Things with weapons on it. It does fit fantastically in here with room, so that's nice because I can fit it in here with the little pop socket adapter that I have. So this is great, but it does not fit. Well, it fits great in this without the pop socket I have on it. I think if I had a regular like pop socket on here that like was stuck on the device, it would fit. But I have a Baggu eyeglasses case, and it also fits perfectly into this, which I just do it upside down because of the handle strap. And this feels good. Like, I feel like it has a good bit of protection. So that is the one thing I noticed on my trip that I was like a little stressy about, was like, where in my bag did I have this, and was it protected if I like set my bag down on concrete, if I dropped my bag? I didn't want to be stressed that my device was going to break, because these are expensive. And the last thing you want is an expensive device to break in the first like month of having it, because God, I think I would have cried. I mean, I know I would have cried. So yeah, those are two of my big like takeaways from my first month. Let's do some comparisons next. So I'm going to show you the Boox Palma between my 11th gen Kindle and my Color Soft Kindle, and then we'll do the iPad and the Oasis. I also have a Big Me Android e-reader, so I can talk about that too a little bit. The book I'm using is Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, because it just felt like the most like ease of access. Now, I will say this, before I show you this, please, please, please keep in mind that I will not be adjusting my font size, okay? We're not adjusting it. And I'm a big font fan. I have ADHD. I like to quickly turn the page. I really enjoy that element in my reading. It helps keep me focused. If you struggle sometimes to focus, up your font size, y'all. Also, glasses. I don't have great vision, so this is what works for me. I don't care if it doesn't work for you. You do you. I'm happy for you. That's the best part about an e-reader. There is accessibility for all in the adjustability of font sizes and stuff. So, all right, let's go do the little comparison so you can kind of see the screen quality. Okay. So you're going to notice that this is the Paperwhite, the Boox, the Color Soft. The Paperwhite and the Boox, because they are not color e-inks, have the crispest screens in my opinion. This is not far off. I have all of these at a 16 brightness and a 14 for warmth. So there's just like a smidge more papery texture to the Color Soft, and that's just due to the color pixel option. These all look pretty on par. This screen is 6.8. This is a 7. I don't remember how big the Boox is. I'll put it on the screen. But just for comparison, like, it does save a good bit of space. Like, that's a lot of space comparatively. So there's that. Anyways, here is the old Paperwhite with this. I feel like the screens on these are pretty comparable. Again, we have them all in the same setting. I don't know what is going on over here with my Oasis, but we're just gonna ignore her. But yeah, I don't think the Oasis screen just can't be beat, but I just don't love this device at the end of the day. I know one of y'all in the comments will be like, it's my favorite thing ever. I get it. I know. I don't care. But the Boox, for me, I think the one thing that I will tell you that I've loved the most is it has these side buttons, which I'm going to show you right here. And you can program these so that you hit them when you're reading and they turn the page. And then also what you can do, so I like to read in dark mode. This is a contentious thing for some people. I guess a lot of people don't read in dark mode, but again, migraine prone, all that jazz. I do everything I can to help myself with reading. Oh, I can also use system settings. But anyways, I usually just leave this in here. One thing I will note, you can do the continuous scroll option on a Boox, so that's nice. So I don't love this. I like this on my phone more, but you do have that option, so that's nice. I will say I think that the dark mode on this is great. I think it's pretty on par with my regular dark mode. continue to scroll is off. Okay. So, as you'll see, I'm going to hit this button down here. I've got to pick it up more, but I'm going to hit the button and it's going to turn the page. It takes quite a few pages for me to have any ghosting issues. And when I do, I'm able to hit this button over here and refresh the page, which then gets rid of any ghosting. I'm trying to get it to do it so I can show y'all. Okay, well, it doesn't want to show it. But anyways, let's go back in front of the tripod and talk. Okay, we're going to talk about like the things I'm loving about the device and like all the apps and stuff I'm using first. And then I'll talk about some of the cons and then I'll answer any questions I feel like I haven't gotten to yet. So I will tell you this, I only have 8 apps on my home screen and then on the next page. So the apps I have on my home screen are the Kobo app, Kindle app, Libby, Hoopla, Viz Media or Viz Manga and Shonen Jump, the NetGalley Shelf app, and BookFunnel. And then on the second page, I have Libro FM, Audible, Google Play, and then I have Telegram, which is a messaging app that I use with some friends. And I have that on there because I can send myself my cutie screensavers that I've set up on here. And then down below is just all of the basic setting things. So app-wise, one thing I do want to highlight for my manga readers, because I do think that's important here, I was very impressed at the manga quality. I'm just going to open the chapter I'm on. But this is how Queen's Quality looks. I think this looks even better than it does on my Colorsoft personally when I read a manga there. So that for me is a big win. And I haven't read extensively with my manga apps on it yet, but again, when I talk about wanting one device to travel with, if I'm on a cruise ship and I've downloaded my Viz Media chapters and I've got my books on here, I truly can read whatever I want, right, with no Wi-Fi. If I'm flying cross country, if I'm flying overseas, I have flexibility with this to have a lot more things on it than just my Kindle device. So I do like that. I'm very happy with how the Shonen Jump and Viz Media apps navigate on here. I've not tried other manga apps. I could not get K-Manga on here. The Android device is not compatible. The NetGalley Shelf app works quite well, and I don't mind it. So first trip, first month, like things I'm loving so far about the Boox. I love the page turn on the side. When I'm laying in bed at night, again, same thing. I have it. We've got it on the wrist, and we're just laying there, click, click, clicking away through our book, and that is so nice and so comfortable. Sometimes I probably have arthritis. We're gonna be honest here. I probably do. My mom does. I'm sure I do to some extent. But also, like, I'm editing. I'm doing a lot of things with my hands in general, so being able to just hit a button and turn the page is nice. Like, I'm able to kind of relax my hand a little more. I'm also able to kind of adjust which finger I use very easily. It's also a little bit lighter than the Kindle. So when I'm laying like that, it's very comfortable. It's a very comfortable hold. I really like the buttons to turn the page. I didn't think I would be here telling you I liked buttons to turn a page again, because that has never been a deal breaker for me on the Kindles personally anymore. As someone who's had a Kindle since a Kindle keyboard, and my mom had the original Kindle, so like I've been around Kindles, I've been around e-ink devices, but yeah, I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed, again, the portability, the flexibility. I'm still not like fully there on the like juggling multiple apps with all of my books. I know that I could put the bookshop.org app on here to read my ebooks as well, I believe. I'm not there yet. I'm trying to take it slow and easy. I'm building an owned library spreadsheet right now that tracks all of my owned ebooks, so I know what app they're on, because honestly, that's what's going to get the most confusing, in my opinion, about this device for me, is just the amount of places that I could have books. Yeah, so I've loved the portability. I loved the flexibility of it. I loved the, like, kind of incognito-ness of this device. If you don't look too deeply, it just kind of looks like an Android phone. You're not really realizing that it is an e-reader, and I'm okay with that sometimes. I don't care if people know I'm reading, and I don't care if other people are reading, but sometimes it's nice to just, like, sit at the bar and read your book, you know? And this feels a little more subtle like that, which is something my mom and I did on the trip. Like, my mom was crocheting and I was reading, and it just felt like, oh, she's probably scrolling on her phone, and I'm fine with people thinking that. I don't always want to talk about what I'm reading, so I like being able to kind of skip that conversation. But yeah, so I liked that about it a lot. I liked the flexibility. I have some things I don't love and some issues. So I just don't find Android OS as intuitive as other operating systems can be. So I don't love that. I do think size-wise, like, it's a weird size, because like I said, it's close to a phone, but it's not quite. I do think also the cost of this thing is extravagant for what it is. Again, getting a used one kind of helped buffer that cost for me a little bit and make me not feel as bad about it. The other thing I will tell you that I'm struggling with currently, and I need to do more research on, and it's a question some of y'all had. You can have audiobooks on here, and it has a speaker. The speaker's not terrible. I cannot get my Sony wireless headphones to connect, like my over-ears that I like to travel with, to connect to this thing to save my life. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong with my headphones. I don't know if it's this device. I have no idea what is happening, why it is happening. I will say the built-in speaker quality is fine. I don't know that this is the device I'm going to audiobook on though necessarily, because I just don't need it for that. I like the idea of being able to. So if I can get that to work, I may use it more, and like we can talk about that in 6 months or so when I've had it longer. But yeah, I cannot get this to connect to any of my headphones. I've tried a random Bluetooth pair I had. I've tried various things and it has not worked. And that's okay. Other people have done it. I just haven't gotten it to work. I mean, I haven't even logged into Audible on here. That's the truth of the matter. But I would like to be able to, like, you can see Libro opens, you can download your books. I can download audiobooks off of NetGalley that I've gotten. So I like the idea of eventually being able to use it for that. But for now, I'm personally at least not audiobooking with it. I'm relying on my phone or my iPad to do audiobooks still. That's just what's working for me. I also think a con for some is going to be the amount of ecosystems you can join to purchase your books on this device, because Kindle, Kobo, Bookshop, BookFunnel, and I'm sure there's others I'm missing that you could use this device to easily have access to a lot of different books. I will also say I don't think I would Webtoon or Tapas or any of the digital manga apps on this personally, or like digital Webtoony apps on this personally. I don't feel like it's responsive enough for that. So that is another thing I would keep in mind if you're looking for a device to do that on. I think an iPad mini is your best bet over, or that size of a tablet over something like this. All right, let's talk about who I think the device is for, and then I'll answer questions that y'all left me when I posted. So I think this device is for people who are traveling a lot, want a device that's going to fit in a smaller bag potentially, not have as bulky, be a little more incognito, or wants the flexibility of access to various places to get their ebooks, and you're trying to decouple from Amazon. I do think it's a good option. Again, I don't think it's terrible. I think that the OS and the setup on the Boox is much more intuitive than the Big Me that I have, so do keep that in mind. I also think if you want to be more incognito with your reading, maybe you just are tired of people asking you what you're reading. Maybe you go somewhere that people ask you what you're reading when you're on your like e-reader or whatever. It could be an option. Maybe you just don't want people to know you're reading for whatever reason, and this can kind of be that nice little in-between gap filler. Let's talk about y'all's questions. How often am I reaching for this versus my larger e-reader? So when I'm at home, my default e-reader has been the Kindle Colorsoft. I don't generally travel with this one, although now I am tempted because this case I got does this magic trick where it becomes a stand, and then I can put a page turner on it and click, 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 and it's the best. But, so my default device prior to this at home was my Kindle Colorsoft, and then my Paperwhite was my traveling Kindle. I tend to not take my more expensive devices on trips just in case, but I got the Boox. I've been using the Boox a ton. I reach for both. Honestly, I've been reaching for the Boox more because it's new and shiny. But like last night, I was laid on the couch with this on a TV stand, and I had the page turner on it, and I was just sitting there reading my book and happy as could be. So when I want that like snuggled up page turner situation, I'm reaching for the Colorsoft. When I want to hold it in my hands, or maybe I'm on the go, I'm reaching for the Boox. I would say I've used the Boox more in the last month, but that's like shiny new device more so than like preferring it. I will say also the dark mode on it and the Kindle Colorsoft kind of have me like whatever, because they're kind of the same-ish, where the dark mode's not the best. Someone else asked about the battery life. I would say it's just as good as my Kindle. I do not have the Bluetooth on though on either device. I am, pretty good about turning it off when I'm not using it. I took it on that trip and I didn't charge it once. I didn't charge it until I got home, and I think I was at like 60%, maybe 70. It was not very low. Found the Kindle app to be quite responsive, the same responsiveness as on my phone or on my Kindle itself. My Kindles are not laggy though. I do want to caveat that. I've not had big lag issues on my Kindle. Someone asked about highlight responsiveness and highlighting on multiple pages. So I think that is a terrible experience on every single e-reader device to an extent, the highlighting on multiple pages and the responsiveness. One tip I've seen, if you want to highlight across multiple pages and you use bigger font like I do, is like make the font tiny tiny and then do your highlight and then make the font back to your normal size. That's my advice. That's kind of what I do now. So for me, when I do highlight, I don't necessarily notice too much issues. Someone asked how hard it is to get books on it. It's not hard. Like, you can just use your already set up accounts on sites. So I find that very like easy and straightforward personally. Oh, about the phone, like that is the one question I've gotten a lot about it, is like, why not just use your phone? So as we discussed, this migraine, this will give me a migraine if I read on it for too long. Even with settings. So I have my iPad, hold on. So my iPad is set up to be a color soft mode when I'm reading. So I'll show you. Hopefully you can kind of tell. I know there's glare. But anyways, it softens the iPad. And I can read on this for a bit like this. But I don't want to do that on my phone, personally. That's just not a thing I'm interested in on my phone. The thing about being different than a phone for me is there's a couple, like, handful of items in here that tie into this being nice to be phone form size without being a phone. Number one being, I don't get texts on this. I don't get messages. I don't see my emails. I only really have books on here. Yes, I know I said I had a texting app, but I literally sent myself a thing on there and I've never opened it again. It's on the second page. It's buried. But yeah, for me, e-ink does not trigger migraines, or if I'm having a migraine or feeling migraine-y, I can usually still read my e-ink devices for a bit to just kind of help myself zen out enough to like get through it. So there's that. But also, I think this has less distractions, and that is why oh my god, I about threw the phone at my face. That is why I'm not a phone reader, really. I like the distraction freeness of a dedicated device. I stick to dedicated devices for specific hobbies because of this. Again, I have ADHD. If you give me a means to distract myself, I am distracting myself, okay? Like, if there's a way for me to not focus on a thing, I'm not focusing. That's just what happens. So for me, it does not feel redundant because to me it serves a different purpose than my phone. In fact, you know, I guess you maybe could make this a dumb phone, but I'm okay with it just being my dedicated e-reader on the go. Responsive time, downloading books to opening. I found everything very responsive on this device. I have downloaded books in the Kobo app. I've downloaded NetGalley books. I've downloaded Kindle books. Everything opens and is great. I've not really had issues. So yeah, personally, I think so far my biggest takeaway for the Boox Palma is like, it's a very niche audience pull, right? Like, I am in a very specific stage in my life right now where I'm like, okay, wait, but I have a lot of travel. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot of space, but this does reduce luggage space, and it does reduce like how much I'm carrying when I'm also bringing cameras and other things with me. That it's kind of nice. You know, I only need, but like my in-flight entertainment is literally like this and my over-ear headphones, you know, like that's perfection. And I guess like my Switch too, if I really wanted to bring my Switch. But I'm just saying, like, to me, being able to just bring these two things out and like have them on the flight with me is perfection. Like, I love being, I try to be, I'm not always the best at this, but I like being a low maintenance in-flight person. Now, mind you, I'm not on 12+ hour flights, so that helps. But these are easy to charge. These are easy to plug in. This is USB-C. This is USB-C. So one cord, we're ready to rock and roll. I'm entertained for hours generally. So yeah, for me, that's like the biggest thing, honestly, is I think the fact that I'm like having a reduction in what I'm carrying. Again, I'm not saying that this is like ginormous either with my color soft, but this is lighter, you know? That's kind of where I'm at right now with the Boox. I'm excited about it still. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to be traveling again next month, so I'll have some more reading time with it. And that's going to help me also see what I think. Right now at least, I really like it. I think it's a great device. It surprised me. Honestly, like, I am very surprised at how much I liked it. I literally looked at Grumps when we bought it and I was like, if I don't like it, I'm just going to resell it. Like, it's fine. And I'm over here like, this is a nice addition to my e-reader collection. I'm excited to live with it for a little bit longer. Again, I'm going to check in with y'all in like five months when I've had it for 6 months to like kind of see more. I'm going to work on the audiobook situation, see if I can get that working. Cause like I said, I've had zero luck setting it up. I guess I should give y'all my settings also. So on the Boox, there's a specific e-ink setting situation, and I do have it on customized, and I have it on HD over speed. So I don't know if that's helping with the ghosting situation or not. And then I have color mode on custom. and that's set at 30 for contrast and 10 for light cool color filter. Those are my settings. But like I said, I like having this little button that just immediately fixes any ghosting I have, but I'm not having a ton of ghosting either. Like if I leave it on a page too long, maybe, or if I'm reading really quickly, but for the most part, it's been fine. But yeah, that's my first month-ish with my Boox. Let me know if you have any specific questions I didn't answer here. Anything you want me to keep in mind as I test it for the next 5 months and continue using it. I'm hoping maybe later this year I'll end up with a Kobo Libra color to test as well. We'll see what happens. But I am, like I said, very excited to have this and actually like get to use Kobo Plus. That is not on my iPad. So Kobo Plus rec videos coming soon. That's my other request. If you are a Kobo Plus reader, let me know your recommendations down below. I know a couple of y'all in my Discord have already given me recs, but if you have recs and you're watching this video, let me know of things you think I might like that are in that service. I think that's it. So you can leave me a bow emoji because I got like little bows. It's like very girly. I love it. I love how girly it is. You can leave me a bow emoji here because there's like one on my little thing. I will have links to the devices down there for you and all of my little like bits and bobs accessories that I got if you are in need of them down there, as well as links to your friend anywhere on the internet. But yeah, I will talk to y'all in just a few days in my next video. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away. This is what we waited for.